The state of Texas is preparing to remove one of its last major gun restrictions. Once it's signed by Governor Greg Abbott, the bill will allow Texas residents to carry handguns without a license. So I'm sure you can imagine how those on the left are reacting to this move. Watch.
Texas will join 5 other states that have all passed some form of permitless carry legislation just this year. This despite the fact that a majority of Texans, some 59%, oppose unlicensed carry, according to a University of Texas Tribune poll. But the proposal was far more popular with Republicans. 56% of them support unlicensed carry, while 85% of Democrats oppose it. And now because of this, it is getting easier to own and carry a handgun in Texas, even as it gets harder to vote there. So if someone is a felon, if, for instance, they have a restraining order against them, or they have issues as far as domestic assault has gone, they're not supposed to be carrying a weapon. What is to stop them from basically openly carrying a handgun?
In the law as it is, or the law that's being sent to the governor, it says if you're not supposed to have one, you can't have one. But there's no enforcement mechanism. There's zero. So the moment that we will find out that someone shouldn't have had that weapon is the moment in which loved ones are going to be called and being told that their relative, their spouse, their child, their parent is dead. That's when they're going to find out that person shouldn't have had a weapon. That's the tragedy that's waiting to come to the next city in Texas.
The amount of misinformation spread in just one segment is almost hilarious. It's always feelings over facts, because according to CNN, fear sells, right? Join me now from Reston, Virginia, director at MRCTV, Eric Scheiner. Eric, thank you for joining me. Eric, they always get it wrong. I feel like a lot of these folks who are talking about guns on these segments have never touched a gun, have never been around a gun. And also, a lot of these people have their private security detail, and so they're all against guns and people using them for self-defense, but they also have no problem with their security guards being armed, right?
Right, and CNN can do 3 hours on this particular subject and not have one conservative person come and speak about gun rights, because that's not a point of view that CNN is interested in pushing. It's unbelievable the amount of misinformation. Well, anyone can just go get a gun and have it on the streets now. Well, no, there's still background checks when you have to purchase a weapon. They don't want to admit these type of things. But they want to put this out there. And really, if your concern is, well, we're only going to find out that someone has a gun illegally after they've shot somebody. Shooting people is illegal. Homicide is illegal already. This is the issue we always talk about. How is a new additional law that harms legal gun owners going to help this? It's not. So there's a lot of misinformation out on this Texas law, and CNN and MSNBC are your biggest purveyors of it.
Yeah. Well, we know it doesn't work. Chicago is a great example of that. Very strict gun laws. In fact, some of the strictest in the nation, yet they have a lot of crimes committed with guns. And so the Democrats and leftists and the anti-gun lobby, they really have nothing to say about that. Actually, they end up blaming other states, and they're like, oh, it's their fault. No, the criminals are emboldened. Criminals aren't going to follow the laws, and then it leaves everyone else like sitting ducks.
Right, absolutely. And if you look at the state of Texas, it's actually more restrictive if you have misdemeanors in the past. They have classes where they say those misdemeanors, and it can be something as simple as, assault causing bodily injury, things of that nature. You are to be denied getting a gun. So in some respects, the Texas law makes it more restrictive, but yet if you're a legal gun owner, yes, you can have concealed carry.
Yeah. I have another good video for you. It's your favorite TV host, Joy Reid, over at MSNBC. She's having a meltdown over conservatives' obsession with guns. Watch.
Leaves another community asking again, as we do every time, when will this insanity stop? Unfortunately, because of the gun fetishizing Republicans running so many state houses, clearly not anytime soon. Well, Senator Kennedy, yeah, we're triggered. And not by your stupid video, which basically promotes guns as a stand-in for having a love interest and poor spelling. We're triggered by the continual death that we know is coming because of people like you and your friends who are pushing laws that let any untrained idiot off the street walk around with an unlicensed handgun that they might not even know how to properly use. And let's just hope and pray not kill a bunch of people with it.
I'm kind of speechless. I'll let you take it away, Eric.
Well, that segment you're playing from is Joy Reid, who doesn't really seem to have much joy, and she does actually really seem triggered by the topic. But, this is from a segment on her show where she calls it the worst. How is it the worst for Texas to want to defend the Second Amendment, to promote an aspect of the Constitution of the United States? That's the worst? Come on, Joy.